Good evening from London, wrestling fans. I'm your host, Ben Allison, and you are listening to Wrestling Republic's daily broadcast, your one-stop shop for professional wrestling, insight, news, and reviews on a daily basis. And today is Friday, and Elimination Chamber is just over 12 hours away. I'm excited. You guys know me, I love the road to WrestleMania. It is the most exciting time to be a fan of professional wrestling. And right now, tonight, I think we're going to see, tomorrow morning for me in the UK, I think we're going to see an absolutely terrific Elimination Chamber event. I'm pumped and I'm excited to give my predictions for it on this show today. But I think it would be a little bit boring if I just sat here for 45 minutes and gave you my predictions on my own. So I also brought with me a fantastic crew of people to discuss everything, and let's start things off by the head of reviews, Coby Galenzoski. How are you, Coby?
Doing pretty good, because there isn't a party. There is no party like a prediction party, because a prediction party doesn't stop. I'm here. I'm ready to enjoy it. It's the road to WrestleMania. Of course, we got to get excited for shows like this. It's the Elimination Chamber, one of the better stipulations that they continue to not bury like they've done over the last how many years with other bigger stipulations that they do. I'm here to enjoy it. It's a smaller card. It's probably going to be as long, but it's going to be enjoyable. It's going to be an enjoyable show. I'm here to talk about wrestling with some of my favorite people. What more can you ask for?
Hey, absolutely. It's going to be a fun show, that is for sure. Like I said in the intro, it's on a reasonable time Elimination Chamber for us in the UK tomorrow. So I expected we'd have, quite a few of our UK guys on the watch along. But not this next guest. He's decided to go to a dance competition instead. How dare he? I'm only joking. Welcome to the show, David.
No, I'm much I'd rather be watching the wrestling. Hello, everybody. I'm excited to be here today to predict Elimination Chamber, a show that, I'll be honest, I can't pretend to be all that excited for from a card perspective. I don't think anything on this show is good enough to make it a much-watch show, but I'll always watch the wrestling, and I think that all the matches look good, and I think it's going to be a very fun show regardless, particularly in Australia. G'day. And yeah, I'm excited to be here with my favorite people as well. Let me just check the listing of who's here. Coby, Ben.
Oh no.
Come on then. Bring him in. Bring him in.
And on that note, the fourth one, he's always controversial. And that man is Ignacio. How are you, Ignacio?
The fourth man. I'm the fourth man. I'm doing pretty good. And this is round 2 for me and David today. Earlier, I gave him and Chaos a wrestling lesson and an absolute whooping into obscurity. Check out Take It to the Table. Coming out pretty soon. Chaos will have that up pretty soon. But Chaos messaged me after the show. He said, Ignacio, please don't do that again. Please don't embarrass me on my own show again. Please don't do anything. Just please. And I said, Chaos, okay. That's fine. I won't embarrass you on your show anymore. I won't give you any more wrestling lessons. I'll let you have your way. I'll let you talk every once in a while. But I'm surprised David showed up. It took him about 6 hours to lick his wounds, but here he is.
Oh, well, guys, if that isn't a trailer for Take It to the Table, I don't know what is. It'll be on the Wrestling Republic YouTube channel really soon. And I'm excited for it, as always. David, Ignacio, on the same table for Take It to the Table. And David, now's your chance to get some revenge, because we are going to kick things off here.
No.
by talking
no.
about what's happening.
Sorry, go on. No, go on.
We're all good. Okay, cool. Right, we're going to start things off by talking about the women's Elimination Chamber match. And this one, I think, let's be real about it. A lot of people have been calling...
That's what I thought you were going to quiz. I thought you were going to quiz
Oh,
me.
no.
That's why when you brought it to me,
there's no quiz
revenge,
today.
I thought, oh, no. Oh. Sorry, Ben. Continue.
There is no quiz today because I'm basically quizzing you all anyway. The quiz is who's going to, win the chamber matches. And this one, like I said, it's fairly predictable in the eyes of many people, apart from Shard, who is absolutely convinced Tiffany Stratton will be winning tonight, and it will be Tiffy time at WrestleMania when she holds the gold. But for those of you guys who don't know who's in the Women's Elimination Chamber match, Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair, Liv Morgan, Naomi, Tiffany Stratton, and Raquel Rodriguez will be competing for the chance to face the winner of Rhea Ripley and Nia Jax at the show of shows, WrestleMania. And I honestly think this has the potential to be one of, if not the best Women's Elimination Chamber matches ever. I'm really excited for it, but I'm going to agree with the masses, and I'm predicting Becky Lynch for this one. But David, what about you? What's your call?
Yeah, Becky Lynch is winning. There we go. That buries the build-up. Yeah,
there's the take.
Becky Lynch. There we go. There's the take. No, to be honest, this is the match I think I'm most frustrated about of any of the ones that they've built. The 6 women that they've got in this match are fantastic. They've booked this brilliantly. The actual lineup. My problem is they have so badly telegraphed that they want it to be Becky and Rhea that I feel like it's kind of buried the other women in the match in terms of their chances of winning it. To the point where I'm starting to wonder, is there a swerve coming? Because it just feels so odd. But I don't think there is. I do think it is Becky. But like for Liv Morgan had such a great story. Naomi's just come back. Raquel's just come back. Tiffany, they put the rocket push on her. But by putting them on the press conference, Becky and Rhea's stare down, it kind of telegraphs to you that that's the match that they want to do, particularly given that they've been talking about it every week for the last month. So this feels like a formality. It'll be a great formality because these women are all fantastic. And I think from a level of talent perspective, this certainly has the potential to be the best one they've ever done, because you've got 6 fantastic talents in this match. I'm so glad Stratton's in it. Like, I know what Chard said. No, she's not winning it, but I'm really glad she's in it, and Bianca as well. It's a really, really good lineup. Really good lineup. But I think they've overly telegraphed this, and that's what's a bit frustrating, because this was the match where they could have really made you believe, particularly with Liv Morgan. Liv and Rhea have such a great story, and it feels like they're just ignoring it to just go, well, not ignoring it, they're referencing it, but just to go, well, we want Becky, so it doesn't really matter. And it's a shame, because I think there's more they could have done here, but will be a fantastic match, I should imagine. Naomi will probably do something stupid, because she seems to be the person who loves to do particularly with the Rumble, the Klingon spots and all those kind of things. She'll probably do something on the chamber. But I think there'll be some sort of Tiffy moonsault from the top or something stupid. But yeah, I think Becky is going to win it, and it'll be a great match.
Absolutely. I'm really excited for it as well. And yeah, I agree. I don't think Tiffany's winning it. Unfortunately, Shard is going to be crying. It's going to be devastating. If you guys haven't seen the real TikTok YouTube short from yesterday where Shard does his Tiffany Stratton impression or whatever, it is gold. It was hilarious. But yeah, I do agree with you on that. And the other thing I agree with you on is that it's just been so predictable. I complained on Monday. Well, I went to complain on Monday about that Becky Lynch promo because it made it like so obvious. Well, that made it so obvious that Rhea Ripley was beating Nia Jax. They just completely ignored Nia Jax. And of course, Nia Jax ended up coming in and taking them all out. But even so, I thought that segment was a bit weird. I didn't mind it in the end, but I still thought it was a little overly choreographed, I guess. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, promo parade. All the women standing in a row. We're past this, Hunter. We did this years ago. Do better, please.
Yep. Unless they're all on ladders. That's the only time I'll accept it. If they're all on ladders, because that 2016 segment was gold, and I'll never shut up about it. I don't care what you all say. But, Ignacio, I do care what you say. I want to get your thoughts on this. Who do you think is going to be winning the Women's Chamber?
Well, I mean, everything leading up to WrestleMania season usually is kind of pretty predictable, but it's not about where we end up. It's about how we get there. And I think they've done a pretty good job booking the show, considering that, CM Punk is out. There were plans to maybe have Jade Cargill in the match, and they're putting her on hold. And Seth Rollins is injured. Maybe he was going to be a part of the pay-per-view, but, they want to save him for WrestleMania. So, I mean, considering, I think they've done a pretty good job, booking the show and booking this match, in particular the Chamber, because you got Tiffany Stratton, who they just moved up from NXT, who's a wild card. And I don't think anybody actually thinks she's going to win, but Raquel Gonzalez. Yeah, Raquel Gonzalez just came back, and supposedly that was supposed to be Jade Cargill's spot, but they're saving something for her, or maybe they don't think she's ready yet. But I think, if anything else, I think Becky Lynch is definitely going to win the match, but this is a chance for them to highlight some new stars, because, I mean, if we go into WrestleMania with Rhea and Becky, and on the other side you got Bayley and Io. Well, we need to start building up some new challengers for those champions that are coming out of WrestleMania. So I think this match is a chance for them to kind of build some stars. And, I love Raquel Gonzalez, and I think maybe I'm a little bit biased because, number one, she's from where I'm from. She's from the Rio Grande Valley, but she's an absolute great talent. I mean, she was injured, but now she's back, and this is going to be a chance for them to maybe showcase of how much of a monster she can be. I mean, how cool would it be if she just went and dominated everybody, and it's her and Becky Lynch at the end, and she's just kind of throwing around Becky Lynch for a while, throws her through a pot or whatever. So I think maybe it can establish her as a monster. Or how cool would it be, or how well thought out it should be or would be if they have Tiffany Stratton do something spectacular with her coming from NXT and all that good stuff. So. Yeah, is it predictable? Yeah, I think it is. Becky Lynch is coming out the winner, but I mean, it's a chance to showcase, some potential new stars, some new challengers for these champions that are coming out of WrestleMania, or maybe Io retains the title, maybe Rhea retains the title, which I think is going to happen. But I mean, we need to start building opponents for these champions after WrestleMania. I think that's an opportunity for them to do that here in this match.
No doubt at all. I do agree with that, because WrestleMania, in a lot of ways, is often looked at, as the end of the road, the best thing in wrestling. And then sometimes after WrestleMania, things can, slow down for WWE. And I thought they did, ignoring the Raw after Mania, a good job last year at keeping the momentum going. And they need to make sure this year they do it again. And like you said, starting to, build some of those feuds now for after Mania. I think that is a great idea indeed. Coby, I want to get your thoughts on this now. Who do you think will be walking out the winner of this match?
This is the thing, and I don't want to sound like a repetitive person with what's already been said, but I find it hard to believe anyone else is winning this chamber aside from Becky Lynch. But this is where I 100% want to double down, and I want to talk about the way Ignacio sold us on it. It's all about the journey. Yes, it's kind of predictable, and we know that's where we're going to go, is more than likely going to be Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch. As of right now, what I want, especially as a part of the chamber, is I need a convincing final two. And from the storyline aspect of what the chamber is, we need a final two, and we need them to go long, and we need them to make it believe, whether it's Becky Lynch and Tiffany Stratton or Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair. We need to believe that the person across from Becky Lynch has a chance, and I think they can because they got history with Becky has history with almost all of them except for Raquel. She has history with Tiffany, especially
That's
from
true.
last year. Becky Lynch elevated Liv Morgan in her last Raw championship reign before Bianca beat her. She has history with Bianca Belair. There's some history from Naomi from early days of SmackDown 2016. Not too much, but there is something you can go with there. Go with that, especially with her welcoming her back on Monday. The promo on Raw, it was all right. I do want to acknowledge the press conference because it is incredibly telling for her reactions. And I want to say her, I'm talking about in Shaw's words, the tribal tiff. Tiffany Stratton's reactions in Australia's
She's
are
over.
absolutely insane to think about. To sit there and say Tiffany Stratton had the reactions that Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair received shows she's a player for the next 10, 15 years. And I'm excited because she's a heck of a talent. I'm ready. I'm ready for her to show out. I'm glad. I do want to. I saw her statement on the Love and WWE kind of red carpet they did for the Bianca and Montez show, and she said her goal for this year was to compete on another PLE. Well, guess what? Not even one more, and you're already back on a PLE. Tremendous talent. I'm excited for what she brings to the table in this match, but it's Becky Lynch winning the match.
I agree with you completely. It's Tiffy time. Well, it's almost Tiffy time, but not quite yet because it will be Becky's time tomorrow. Well, tonight, wherever you are. Because, yeah, I mean, it's so obvious at this point it'll be Becky Lynch. But like you said, the final two, it needs to be, there needs to be a good option for either of them. I'd personally say Becky and Liv. The reason for that is I think Liv's, like she said on Raw this week, there's so much history between her and Rhea, and she's coming back for that title. She's the only really other clear, believable one in this match. So yeah, that's what I would personally do. We've got at NW_pick Fed, who are saying Becky honestly deserves to add the Elimination Chamber win to her incredible career and resume. I could not agree with you more. It makes, it makes a lot of sense. We got Sohail King 07__ saying, who do you guys think will be facing Seth at WrestleMania? We'll be getting onto that at the end of the show. And same to you, Itachi, as well. We'll be getting onto that because it's a very interesting point that you bring up. But something which is also very interesting is what's going to be happening with these tag team championships. And David, I want to just get straight into this because, of course, the Judgment Day, Damian Priest, Finn Balor are defending against the new Catch.
New Catch Republic.
No, censored. I'll be seeing you in court, Mr. Dune. I'm not really, but he is a Tottenham fan, so I no longer like him for
Dune.
Seen the last few shows. Dune, there we are, Coby, Mr. Dune. And Master Bates will both be losing tomorrow at Elimination Chamber because instead the Judgment Day will be retaining because I've had absolutely enough of this nonsense. Master Bates and Mr. Dune thinking that they can just steal the word Republic. It's not happening. And also, what do we think of Tottenham? Another word we cannot say. What do we think of that word we can't say? Tottenham. Pete Dune, just like them, you're going to lose when it matters the most. David, what's your prediction for this one?
Oh, man, you broke me. Right, okay, calm down. Wrestling. Okay, so we discussed this a little bit before the show. I think this is predictable as well, that Judgment Day will retain, because I do think it's going to be Judgment Day versus Awesome Truth at Mania, with R-Truth and The Miz winning. I don't know, actually. But that'll be the match at Mania, I think. Dunn and Bate will probably be really over because, connections with Australia and the UK and all that kind of thing. I don't know. I don't know Australian fans very well to know what they will and won't cheer outside of their own country. But to me, there's one way this match has got to go to really make this show stand out and make a B show stand out. The worst type of match these guys can have is a 3.5-star match. The worst type of match these guys can have is a match that is good. I know we want every match to be a match of the year candidate, but realistically, they're not always going to be. I don't think Rhea and Nia will be. I don't think the chamber matches even will be. They'll both be. They'll be great. They'll be brilliant matches, but I won't say we'll get to the end of the year and it'll be that was a top match of the year. I think this has the potential to be that sleeper, 5-star match lurking in the corner that they just go, give them half an hour. We've got time. We've only got 4 matches, give them half an hour. And it would be the best thing that could happen to Dunn and Bate, because what you have on paper here are 4 of the best wrestlers in the world. And what you have to do with them is let them wrestle and let Dunn and Bate get over as the phenomenal wrestlers that they are. If I would equate this best, you've got an opportunity to do an Acclaim Swerve in Our Glory thing here, where you can really get the crowd behind the faces, not to have them win, but to get it so that you want them to win really badly, and they don't. And then you've got your new big face tag team. If they go 15 minutes and Priest and Balor win, that's fine. That's good. But I really want this to be the match that you come out of going, wow, did you see that? Did you see the show? Yeah, I know you had the chamber matches, but this one, remember Shield Wyatt's? It's like got the chamber, but the chambers, you remember the chambers, but you also remember that bit extra. And I think you've got a really good chance here with these guys. I might be hyping it up too much. I don't know what they're going to do with it. But either way, no matter what they go with it, these 4 guys are great. And I suspect they're going to have a really great match with Judgment Day probably winning.
Absolutely. There's a comment here from Itachi saying he sees Judgment Day retaining and then a fatal 4-way at Mania with Bate and Dune facing DIY, facing Awesome Truth versus Judgment Day. I mean,
it'll be fun. I mean, I want DIY on my Mania card because I love DIY. But I think if they're going to do it, it's more likely to be a singles, 2-on-2 with Judgment Day and Awesome Truth.
We talk about match of the years. I don't know if Awesome Truth versus the Judgment Day is going to be up there in terms of any quality.
It doesn't have to be. For that match, what you just want is the story. There's great story there if they build it. I don't need a 5-star tag match at Mania like I did last year. I like there's a story here. Pay the story off. But here you've got wrestlers. I think you can put that really top quality wrestling on here to remind people how good all these guys are.
Absolutely. Well, talking about things that are high quality, I want to talk to you guys about Next Level. Now listen, there's so many social media platforms out there nowadays that, if you want to find us on YouTube, you've got to go onto YouTube, you've got to click the YouTube app, you've got to type us in, subscribe there, then you've got to do it all over again on X, all over again on, all the other ones, Twitch, Instagram, them all. It's very complicated, and it's just, it's just a bit of a pain if we're being real about it. Well, our good friends over at Next Level have come up with a solution for you. Oh, yes, they have. You very simply click our Connect link, and all our links are there. But not just all our links, you can also see new content from us there as well. They've got an app. It's great. You guys should check it out for sure. It's a no-brainer, seriously. It's completely free. You have nothing to lose. All you need to do, go into our YouTube description, Instagram bio, Twitter bio, any of those, and the link's there. And in case you don't have any of those or something or other, you can very, very simply search nxconnect.me/Wrestling Republic to see all our content in one simple place. You can interact with us personally on there as well. Fantastic platform. Make sure you guys are all getting that app. Next Level. That's NXLVL. That's how it's spelled. Next Level. So once again, nxconnect.me/Wrestling Republic to see all the content in one place. You guys gotta do it. It is fantastic. It's free. You won't regret it. And it just makes your life easier. And we all need more time. If I had more time, maybe I wouldn't have just knocked my light over. Anyway, on that note, Ignacio, I want to get your thoughts on the Women's World Championship, because Rhea Ripley will be defending the title against Nia Jax. Of course, Rhea Ripley, she's from Australia. Nia Jax was actually born there too, something that not many people know. But I think these two women are going to over-deliver, to be honest with you. I think this actually might be a decent match. But I see Rhea winning. What do you think, Ignacio?
Yeah, they've done a pretty good job building this match. I think they've done a pretty good job building up Nia Jax since her return. I mean, she's been she holds a win over Becky Lynch, so that gets you. So that essentially, because Becky and Nia, they've done a good job telling the story about their history and so forth. You know that Nia Jax started the man era or so forth with that one scene with Becky Lynch where she's bleeding from the nose. That was the work of Nia Jax. She punched the crap out of her. Because it makes you think, well, there's a chance that Nia can come out the victor. But of course I still think that Rhea and Becky is where they're headed towards WrestleMania, no doubt. But I mean, they've done just a good job of building up Nia Jax. She's been squashing people. She's been doing good promos. She's been presenting herself pretty well. They've had her on a number of occasions come out and just annihilate like the women's division, like that a couple of weeks ago when she came out and like all of Damage Control cowered to the corner when she Yokozuna bombed Rhea Ripley. That was great. They just done a pretty good job like building this match, and even though it's believable, and yes, we're working towards Rhea and Becky at WrestleMania, it's been a good story told, and it's been a good fun watching these two big women go at each other. And I think it's going to be a big women's match. Get a lot of power moves, and Rhea Ripley's going to show off her strength and so forth. So it's been a good story. I think Rhea's going to come out the victor, but I mean, they've done a pretty good build-up because there's still that inkling of a chance that maybe Becky still hasn't beaten Nia yet, so maybe there's a chance that Nia might knock off Rhea Ripley, and we might get, Nia and Becky at WrestleMania. God forbid. I don't wish this on anybody that Rhea Ripley gets hurt, but you never know what happens during a match. You know what I mean? Something goes wrong. They have to call an audible, and then Nia Jax has to pick up the win and pick up the title from Rhea Ripley. And now we got Nia and Becky at WrestleMania, and that's not such a bad thing, right? Because, there's a story there. So either way, it's kind of like a win-win. But I mean, overall, do I think that Rhea's going to take the win? Absolutely. And we're going to have an awesome women's world heavyweight title match at WrestleMania between Rhea and Becky. And I think, in my opinion, I know we're not on the prediction show for WrestleMania yet, but I think Rhea Ripley's going to squash Becky Lynch at WrestleMania. I'm talking about like under 7 minutes.
Wow. I'm not going to lie, Ignacio. You've got me a little bit worried there. I forgot, of course, just, a couple of months ago, Becky Lynch lost to Nia Jax, and as far as I'm concerned, she didn't get the win back, did she, Becky?
No, she didn't.
Oh, I am scared because that's so recent as well. That was in January. That I'm a little worried. Maybe that is the direction. Maybe Rhea Becky's a swerve all this time, and maybe, oh no, maybe like Soul said, Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley, non-title is the plan at WrestleMania, and Nia Jax versus Becky Lynch is. Oh no!
Well, I mean, look, if we were gonna go with Soul, if we were gonna go with fantasy booking, if that was the situation, I would probably put Rhea up against Jade Cargill because Rhea would be able to lead Jade in a good match.
She would.
But of course, we're fantasy booking.
I mean, here's the thing though, Ignacio. Soul has a shockingly good predictions record. Like, he just predicts the most random stuff and gets it right. And you're like, what? So who knows? Yeah,
now you got me scared.
Well, Coby, one thing that I really am looking forward to at Elimination Chamber tomorrow. Actually, we got a comment you actually want to answer first. We firstly got Ibrahim Yusuf Omar, who's saying there was enough time for Becky to get her win back on Nia on an episode of Raw. I hope
Yep.
you're right. I really hope you are. Itachi saying we all know Becky will win, but WWE should do some nail-biting ending. I hope
Exactly.
you are right there as well. But Grayson Waller effect. Grayson Waller is returning to Australia. He's doing all the shoeies. Austin Theory's fighting all the journalists. I wouldn't be surprised if you see some of the dirtiest dirt sheets in dirt sheet entertainment get attacked on the way to the ring when Austin Theory and Grayson Waller come out for this Grayson Waller effect. But the real attraction is when Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins come out and get in that ring to talk about Seth Rollins and not Seth Rollins, talk about Roman Reigns and The Rock. Now I'm going to take you guys behind the curtain here at Wrestling Republic for a second, because behind the scenes there have been a few arguments going on surrounding this entire situation, right? Some people are, certain. Anthony, for example, is certain they're not doing a tag match. Well, for example, Coby is certain they're doing a tag team match, and the entire Wrestling Republic's either one way or the other. It's an absolute divide about it. But I think we're going to get some answers at Elimination Chamber. Is it going to be a tag match, or is Rollins just going to be in Cody's corner and Rock in Roman's? Coby, give me your thoughts on this one.
This right here on Elimination Chamber in Australia, in Perth, I think it's Opist or something like that stadium. I can't remember exactly.
I have no idea.
I can't remember exactly. In this stadium, it's going to be the biggest Grayson Waller effect in history, right here, right now. The last one they did on the PLE, or on PLE, was Payback when Jey Uso returned. I loved the pop. I want to acknowledge that as well. But this by far is almost the most interesting thing about this show. And that's, I don't want to say hard to say, but it's kind of truthful, because this is where we are going to learn a lot more about WrestleMania. Because yes, we can say the majority of the card is predictable. This is, dare I say, cinema, or going to be cinema.
Ooh.
It's going to be entertaining. I think Grayson Waller's going to have the crowd in the palm of his hands. So are Cody and Seth. I don't want to see this turn into anything like, oh, Cody and Rollins are going to have an impromptu match with Waller and Theory. Please don't do that. I doubt that's anyone's
I bet they are. I bet they are.
No,
I bet they are.
I don't think Seth's wrestling till WrestleMania. But this, like I said, we have Roman Reigns confirming via Twitter he's going to be there. We have The Rock teasing, basically saying if they're talking trash to him about him in Australia on the Grayson Waller effect, he'll fly over there as ASAP and be there. The Rock is talking about making money, or making magic, not money, making magic. That's exactly what's going to happen here. We're going to have this is what's going to drive the show to go till 4 hours. I'm kidding. That's me being silly. But at the end of the
watching
day,
the Rock's flight just flying over.
It's going to be interesting, because we're going to see The Rock, Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, and Seth Rollins pretty much in the ring at the same time for the first time, because we saw it at the press conference. But guess what? That was not a ring. Tomorrow or whenever, when you want to view it, it is going to be in a ring. It's going to happen. The way I see it is you don't have The Rock saying he's basically confirming he's wrestling at WrestleMania. You don't have a WrestleMania ad basically putting them on separate sides, Roman and The Rock on one and Seth and Cody on the other. You don't do all of those to go, yeah, we're not doing a tag match. All signs are pointing to yes. If I had a flag, I would say this is the signal. The signal is it seems and it adds up to be a tag match right now. Am I saying it's the best choice they can do? I'm not sitting here and saying that. I'm saying it seems like the most probable with the information we can look at. And that's what a lot of people, especially in Wrestling Republic, can't seem to wrap their head around, that there's logic and there's facts already being presented that points us in this direction.
I mean, Triple H, I feel for him, to be honest with you, because he did an interview, I can't remember with who, and he sat down and he said, I just want to say it. I want to get this out now so that nobody gets their hopes up. The Rock, he isn't showing up, but it's going to be a great show, and all this stuff, and we'll see him again very, very soon. Here's the thing. Everybody's saying, and, rightfully so, but that's what you would say if he was. So no matter what Triple H says, everybody's expecting The Rock. It's Archie is saying, how about we get The Rock in on a helicopter, middle of the ring? That would be some tribal chief-esque word I cannot say stuff. We'll just go with. We've got a few comments here. We've got Sony, Dalton, and Sandy saying that he thinks Seth's dropping the belt tonight because he thinks Damian Priest is cashing in. I mean, that would certainly be you know what, Sony? I'm jumping on that train too. I predict a cash in.
You gave this to Ben. You brought this upon yourself, everyone.
You almost went one prediction show without the cash in prediction. You didn't.
Yeah.
I'm predicting it.
So close.
Predicting it right now.
So close.
Yet so far, so far, indeed. But let's talk about the men's chamber, shall we? Because, I mean, this is stacked. This is a stacked lineup. These are 6 men who are going to put on the performance of a lifetime. And I, for one, am excited for it. If you don't know the names, let me run it down for you. We have Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton, Bobby Lashley, LA Knight, Kevin Owens, and Logan Paul, the social media maverick. And I really do think this could be one of the best Elimination Chambers ever from an in-ring standpoint, because these guys are just absolutely tremendous. I'm really excited for it, but the question is, who will win? Drew McIntyre is the one which everybody is predicting. But I don't know if they're going to go that route. I really don't. Because, listen, you don't know how much longer you have Randy Orton for. And you don't really have anything for him to do at WrestleMania. He's one of the biggest stars you have. You need something to main event WrestleMania Night 1. How about you run back WrestleMania 31, Randy Orton, Seth Rollins, the World Heavyweight Championship. Do I think it'll happen? No. Is that what I would do? Yes. I think Drew McIntyre is winning. And then I think maybe we'll see a bit of a twist down the line. But Coby, what's your prediction for this one?
This is where it's tough, because this is another. We're back to predictability, because I just talked about Grayson Waller effect is not by any means, aside from who's showing up. This one, it's interesting. I can tell you one name that isn't going to win. Bobby Lashley's not winning this match. He's not.
No.
But this is the thing. Everyone except for Bobby Lashley in this match are guys that it's like, these people, these stars need something for WrestleMania. Logan Paul, I mean, he's a champion. Of course he needs to be on the show. Randy Orton, he's a legend. He hopes he has 10 more years. I hope so too. Kevin Owens, I mean, he just main evented 2 years in a row.
That's true.
He deserves a spot too still.
Yeah.
LA Knight, after the year LA Knights had, thank you. After the year LA Knights had, you can't sit there and say he deserves to be left off the show. This is where, aside from Drew McIntyre being the lone Raw superstar, a lot of it is just like, okay, are they going to go in the predictable route with Drew McIntyre, or are they going to have a SmackDown star win? Because they very much could have a SmackDown star win, because guess what? The draft hasn't mattered since they made it official, and it doesn't. We have Cody Rhodes.
I don't think it kills the draft. It makes sense.
It doesn't kill, but they've never made sense of it. They've never treated it as two separate brands. And there is a number of examples in this sense. Regardless, right now, my question is where does Drew McIntyre go if it's not the world title? I assume it's Sami
Zayn. Yeah.
Because but then where does Sami Zayn go if Drew McIntyre is facing Seth Rollins? I don't know.
Triple threat.
Triple threat is an option, 100%. But we don't know. To me, I think the most obvious and most probable answer is Drew McIntyre. But I wouldn't be opposed to seeing LA Knight win the contendership and go on to face Seth Rollins. I said this last year when Ben Allison was a party pooper saying LA Knight shouldn't have been getting
too
a push,
old.
he shouldn't get a star. I said this, I would rather see LA Knight versus Seth Rollins in a pay-per-view match instead of Seth Rollins and Austin Theory. And look at the stars now. LA Knight is on fire. Austin Theory's in a dumpster. Here we go. LA Knight's the man. I'd be interested. LA Knight and Seth Rollins can sell you they can sell you bars of soap. It'll be interesting. I think that'd be the most interesting and most out there prediction. I'd like to see that. Randy Orton is another option because you don't know. There's nothing for him yet. But
LA Knight is so old that I wouldn't be surprised if he was the next US president, to be honest with you. But we're gonna have to, we're gonna have to wait and see if 80-year-old LA Knight will win the match, or if, a young up-and-comer will. Oh, wait, there's like none of those in this match. But it's certainly going to be a good one, obviously.
Isn't the youngest Logan Paul?
It is, yeah, I think it will be. Logan Paul is actually
I'd be
like
interested.
One of the youngest
a year
stars.
Later, double title for both champions. You could sell me on that match as well. You could sell me on that one as well. You could sell me on all of them except for Lashley and Rollins. I don't care about seeing Lashley against Rollins. I could see Lashley and Roman, but that's not here. That's not here or now.
Roman was a missed opportunity, but yeah, absolutely. It's not here or there. What is here or there is Ignacio, who is here on screen right now. Because Ignacio, I want to get your thoughts. Who will win the match?
Well, I'm hoping that it would be there'd be Randy Orton, because I think that's a more marquee match. And I think Randy Orton is just so beloved by fans right now. I mean, he can do no wrong. I think people appreciate Randy Orton more now than they ever have, for the talent he is, for his work that he does in the ring, for his promos, all the above. And I think that WWE at this point, especially with the injury to Rollins, would be more inclined of going with Seth Rollins and Randy Orton. Randy Orton's a veteran. He's main evented WrestleManias before. So I think he'd be better off to protect Seth Rollins in his situation with his injury. And also, like I said, he's more of a marquee match. But at the end, I think they are going to go with Drew McIntyre, because I think they're also going to find a way to try, maybe not at the pay-per-view, but find a way to try to kind of interject Sami Zayn into the fold. I don't know how. They're probably going to do some last chance match, whatever. Find yourself in the main event, that WrestleMania Night 1 kind of deal. But or maybe they will do something at the pay-per-view, knock someone out somehow, and then interject Sami Zayn, because Sami Zayn's been in a feud with Drew McIntyre, in a program with Drew McIntyre up until now. So I think that's possibility that might happen. But I mean, the question is, and David brought it up earlier, is that, yeah, the pay-per-view is predictable and the matches might be predictable. But let's say, for example, Drew McIntyre does win. What are you going to do with all these people, these stars that have you built, that WWE has built and also have come back? What are you going to do with Randy Orton? What are you going to do with LA Knight? What are you going to do with Sami Zayn? What are you going to do with Jey Uso? And I think the aftermath of the pay-per-view is more interesting than the actual pay-per-view itself. Because, like I said, if you have Drew McIntyre win, he challenges Seth Rollins for night 1. But, okay, where's Sami Zayn fit in all this? Where does Randy Orton fit in all this? What are you going to do about LA Knight, whose mediocre rise captivated the WWE crowd? And everybody was thinking for a while that he might main event WrestleMania. I think that's the most interesting thing out of all of this, coming out of this pay-per-view.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's going to be, you mentioned it now a couple of times, coming out of this pay-per-view and, heading even past Mania, there's so many options that they can have, and they can start to plant those seeds tonight. It's going to be exciting for sure. Anthony Manzano thinks that Drew will win the Elimination Chamber. Then they set up a storyline where Triple H debuts and Gallus pairs them up with Drew. I'm a bit confused about that, to be honest, Anthony. But maybe I think I'm misunderstanding that. But yeah, we've also got Abraham Yusuf Omar saying LA Knight versus Kevin Owens versus Logan Paul for the US title, WrestleMania. It could happen. I'd like to see that. I really, truly would. David March, LA Knight. Yeah, that one is certainly going to be fun. But he's predicted maybe a cash-in for Damian Priest tonight. I'm with you there, David, because you know me. No matter what show it's on, I predict a cash-in. And then when a cash-in happens, I can't be wrong. I'm playing chess, you're all playing checkers. But, David, what about you? How are you feeling heading into this match? Who will walk out the winner?
So I'm going to try and do this as quickly as possible because I know we're running short of time. I'm going to say very quickly, first of all, that I would retract the statement this is going to be the best in-ring match. I love all these guys, but Orton's past his prime, and LA Knight's not the greatest in the ring in the world. Love them all. They're all beeps. They're all stars, but LA Knight's a megastar, but he's in the ring not as much. I've fancy booked this. I'm going to do this really quickly. Bobby Lashley is taken out before the match by Karrion Kross. Sami Zayn replaces him in the match. Please, God Almighty. Logan eliminates Kevin Owens. LA Knight eliminates Logan Paul. That gets LA Knight versus Logan at Mania for the US title. Drew then eliminates LA Knight. Sami then eliminates Randy. Randy Orton snaps, turns heel, attacks Sami Zayn. Drew picks up the scraps and wins, which would lead to either Randy versus Sami, which I'd want to see for Mania, or a way to build sympathy for Sami to get the triple threat. Either way, Drew's winning. Drew is winning in any scenario. Drew is winning. But I think that's the most interesting way of building a bunch of different stuff for Mania, because I think a heel Randy Orton would be interesting. But Sami's got to be in there somehow, because I don't know what else he does. Why he's not in this match, I have no idea. And he was talking in a promo, I can't remember if it was on Raw, about how, the opportunity will present itself. There'll be a lucky break. Whether that's his lucky break, I don't know. But that was very whistle stop. That was very whistle stop and a lot in a very short period of time. But the match will be very good. Drew McIntyre will win, and I think Sami and Drew will be the final two. That is a very solid prediction, actually. And I really hope you're right about Sami. Hello, I'm really sorry if I botched the name. Pedrag? I'm really sorry for botching your name. I'm useless with names, but
Just
hello
Mr.
to
O'Brien.
you. It's not O'Brien, it's Oberyn. But hello, Mr. Oberyn. Anthony Manzano's clarifying himself, saying, let me clarify, I'm thinking Triple H is setting a storyline where Drew wins the Elimination Chamber, and then Gallus debuts on Monday, and then they put them with Drew. Fair enough. Itachi, he agrees with you, David. But on that note, thank you guys so much for watching the show. Thank you to David, thank you to Ignacio, and thank you to Coby for joining me here today. It's been a fun show, guys. We've crammed a lot into 48 minutes, but we will see you guys tomorrow at 2 p.m. UK time, or whenever Elimination Chamber finishes. We're doing the daily then, an early one, but it's going to be a lot of fun. Let's see if Clark can stay up. We'll see you guys